Dot cooperation. The green dot, the magical green dot. Charles, here we are in the park.
We are, and it's Sunday in the Park with Charles.
Absolutely. And you know, it's nice. Springtime, everybody's out. I think let's just take a walk around for a little while here and see what's going down, because I think people like to see just the spring activity here.
I mean, it was only 2 weeks ago, I think, exactly 2 weeks ago, that we were up in the Bronx at that links court. Freezing our butts off in the wind. And now you see what happens when you have less wind and more heat and sun.
They have the fountain on.
Fountain's on. You want to go around that way?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we'll show people. There's a portion here that was sealed off. I don't know if it's still sealed off. We'll walk down there. This is the very base of Fifth Avenue. So from here, goes all the way
in your face, Charles.
You can go all the way uptown, but we'll go this way.
Wait a minute. What's the status of COVID testing? None there.
One
there now.
Yeah.
All right.
And this, as we've told people in the past, this used to be in my ute, when I was a ute. Buses came down and they went around the circle and then they went back up. Fifth Avenue was two ways. And it was actually reasonably dangerous to be a kid playing around the arch.
They wanted to keep you on your toes back in the day, Charles.
And those buses, I don't know if they were like this when you first got here. Those buses in the old days, they belched exhaust.
I hate the bus. Yeah. I've ridden the bus, let's see, 32 years living in Manhattan. Guess how many times I've ridden the bus?
Once.
Once is right.
Yeah, all right.
I hate the bus.
Actually, the new buses are fine.
No, I don't like the concept of the bus. That's like a Spuds MacKenzie dog over there.
There you go, yeah.
But the bus is all the downside of your own vehicle, combined with all the downside of public transportation. Now, I think we spoke to these guys last week. I won't say anything, but they're just walking around on the phone, doing nothing.
Yoda cops. So, I don't know that we've really dwelt on this before, but when I was a little kid, this was originally the littlest little kid park. So this is where you would take toddlers. It didn't have this, whatever you...
Playground?
It just had a sandbox, and it wasn't this big. And this is where my father met. He was looking after my youngest brother, and we won't look at the kids, but there was, again, there was a sandbox, which is no longer here apparently. And there was this guy who was smoking a cigarette and reading the racing form.
The racing form, right.
And he was watching his daughter, who was the same age as my...
But it was somebody famous, wasn't it?
Very famous. His name is Val Avery, and he was married to Margot Stevenson. And the two of them own this building over, their family still owns a building over on Grove Street, 6-story building.
Oh, wait, it is closed.
Yeah, we'll just show people. I mean, I don't know why.
That wasn't closed last week.
I don't know about, I think it was.
I went right through here last week.
Did you? Okay. I think it's not
like
as
a
if
no-go zone.
It's not as if it's effectively closed. It's about as closed as our southern border.
Well, it's just letting you
got
know.
This, right?
Right.
Look at the path. I mean, it's just like the southern border. The only difference is there's nobody from the Mexican cartel saying, "Okay, give me your 2,000." Now you can go across.
Oh my God. That's a good look, Charles. You were going to wear that.
Oh yeah. But yeah, then here's somebody. I don't know. Is this person alive?
He's maintaining the lawn.
I don't know. I mean, he is forming the lawn.
So people get upset that we don't interact, like go check on that guy's welfare and call the...
That's not our... No, you don't want to do that.
Well, I'm just saying, people who are sitting at home watching YouTube are free to call 911 if they see this, but there's a certain amount of risk involved.
A high amount of risk.
Yes, in addressing the personal problems of any of the very troubled individuals who are around in New York City.
Right.
And I mean, you just need to, once in your life, hear a story about somebody getting stabbed by a homeless person they tried to help, to arrive at the decision that you're going to just leave that to professionals and mind your own business.
We don't want to walk this alley here.
I agree.
So we'll turn around.
Oh, wait, so this is closed here too.
So we'll have to go back the way we can.
But what they've created is a condition where, Charles, we're essentially trapped in this park.
Well, look at this. Actually, we could maybe photograph them without looking at them or whatever. But it's a collection easily of like 25 ne'er-do-wells.
Right.
You'd have to walk past in order to go up, exit, and they're selling drugs and they're fucking around and begging for money, and
That's running the gauntlet over there.
it is not something I wish to do.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But
You think that guy works in the fire department?
I don't know, maybe.
Or do you think he bought one of those? I think he's from Paris. He's probably from Nice, France, and he bought that hat at one of those stores that you never see any customers in until the French people come.
Nice is very nice.
I take his at chapeau.
So there's a lot happening in the news, Charles. You know, today's graphic was selected
It was
as a
outstanding.
result of Kamala Harris being about as stupid as a person can be.
I would love for her to decide. You know, Joe Biden is certainly never going to throw out the first pitch in the baseball season. If you remember, George W. Bush did it
Quite well, as I recall.
amazingly well. I
Well,
think
he owned a baseball team.
Well, he was a general partner in a partnership that owned the baseball team. Yes, but
But he's always sort of been known. I mean,
he's always been athletic.
yeah, no one ever denied that he was a
go
good
back.
athlete. He's excellent at dodging shoes. That was hilarious, actually. He's like at the carnival.
Right. I know.
Throw another one.
But no, I'd love to see Kamala Harris decide that, you know, what she wants to do is she wants to sing the national anthem at one of these baseball games. That would be hilarious. She'd get up there and she'd be singing "Oh Canada."
Yeah, exactly.
So let's be mindful of the team here and go to the left, I think.
Yeah, it's
We'll
definitely.
go down the center path.
Well, hang on. Let's check out this side of the park because we haven't yet.
Well, I was thinking we'd go down and up.
Oh, okay, got it. Because I want people to see the amazing weed marketplace that's
It's to your right.
developing.
It's to your right.
Well, there's that one, but then.
Oh, you got to look down the line of benches. There's easily 50 people there.
Yeah, it's a definite danger to the unprepared.
It's like any
Oh,
shop.
look, there's a bicycle gang over there, Charles.
Oh,
You
good.
hear him?
Yeah, I see him. Tilt it up.
So,
Well, it's quite big. Look at it.
yeah.
Let's stand still for a second so we can.
Well, I'll tell you,
It's huge. Keeps going.
I know.
It's like Joe Biden's motorcade.
I saw a guy going down the sidewalk in between a sidewalk cafe at a restaurant and an outdoor wooden hut at the same restaurant. So we had basically a
Half-wit,
width sidewalk
occupied
with
by half-wits.
somebody engaged with some half-wit engaged in a wheelie going down the sidewalk in a way that could only be described as definitely dangerous.
They're still going. Look at this.
That's amazing. As the public and the pedestrians, and I mean, again, every day that they allow,
Is that a cop?
there are. Maybe it's a protest that they're allowed to do. That's almost like an escort. There's cops on mopeds, or maybe they're just holding up the "We Do Nothing" contingency in
That's
the
right.
NYPD.
That's right. They're getting the "We Do Nothing" lapel pin.
Yeah,
Get this at the end of your first year
of doing nothing.
doing nothing. So where are those? You can see them down there. They're all the way going down 7th now.
Wow, that's a hell of a lineup.
And yeah, amazing. So now this is a little bit, we're going into engine territory.
Let's just wait a second. Yeah, you can see them going by there.
Can you zoom all to there or no?
It's a little far away, but we see the bikes.
And see, somehow this is blocked off here, but there are people sitting in there. How they get in there, I don't know.
Well, because, I mean, climbing that fence would be virtually impossible. There's no way.
That's right. The degree of difficulty,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that.
So, I mean, I don't know if we get kicked off YouTube for saying, I've been thinking about this whole thing at the border. It's just ridiculous, the number of people that they've been allowing to flow in. I mean, it's like if you had a house and you never locked the door and you allowed people to just come in and take everything and take it over and live there and wreck it. Was it even your house anymore?
Yeah. Well, you didn't build that.
Right. We have to talk about B-Rock and his stupid speech.
We do,
did a
but-
whole video about it yesterday.
Well, I think first we never do it enough justice. The art department has really taken. I think it's Mel Brooks drew the inspiration from from
Star
this
Wars.
poster for his movie.
Oh, right, exactly.
This came first. This chicken came first, right?
Well, I forgot to mention that this is also a very relevant poster because Elon Musk is famously so fond of that movie that he actually named the acceleration modes of the Tesla after it. So you got ludicrous speed and plaid. That all comes from Spaceballs.
Is that right? Well, that's probably Kamala Harris. Probably that's what she probably learned her science watching Spaceballs.
From Spaceballs, exactly.
I mean, she loves space.
She's more of an expert in balls than she is
I'm
space.
not going there.
So they invited her to the wrong meeting. She's like, balls. They surround us. They're fascinating. Everybody loves them.
Oh boy.
But, everybody's still waiting with bated breath to see what is going to happen with Twitter. And so Elon Musk was trolling.
Oh, it's hilarious. Multiple
Bill
ways.
Gates.
Multiple ways.
But there's more significance to that than just being funny, etc. Because remember, Bill Gates is tightly connected to Al Walid with the investments in Four Seasons, and
Sure.
he just bought out Al Walid's share of Four Seasons. And that text that he sent to Musk, he was talking about philanthropy,
Right.
trying to get him in on the grift, and it seems like Musk told him to go scratch.
Well, Gates has a number of things. He has Gates Philanthropy Partners, which we've been talking about since it first came together as a very dangerous idea, because basically he is marketing his track record as which is horrible, as an inducement to donors to give money to a new vehicle that was running with Warren Buffett and his now ex-wife. And that's charity fraud. I mean, to hold out, to give me money because I've done such a good job of giving it away, like giving it to frauds like the Clinton Foundation and a whole bunch of other things.
Unbelievable.
And conducting a broad public campaign across state lines and international boundaries. I mean, you really, as one of the richest guys in the world, that's a dangerous thing to be doing. So
he got confidence he's not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, I guess, because he's certainly bought off as much media as you can, wherever you want to go.
Well, let's just go in here so that people can see. This is usually where a lot of the activity is happening
Sure.
with regard to live entertainment and weed sales.
That's right. And typically it gets, as it gets hotter and humider, you get more and more crazies.
Well, and more nude performance art.
And people, jumping into taking a shower in the park there in the fountain. But
now we've also got accessories, ashtrays, and
pretty soon you're gonna have like affinity programs, bonus point programs.
I mean, look at this. It's just now all weed. Look at how many different vendors there. You could join the Green Club. Wow, this guy's growing. You could sell you a plant. He's like a horticulturalist.
Good lead, yeah.
It's pretty nice looking.
It used
Wow.
to be though that they
Really smell it.
used to be that you had to get a license to do all this.
Nope.
Not anymore.
Now you can do whatever you want.
Of course, anarchy. Joe and the anarchy.
Somebody you know?
That's Joe Biden.
Actually, Charles,
Hard at work.
Well, here's another weed station.
Yeah.
There's something I forgot to tell you about, Charles. Well,
What's
actually,
that?
I told you, but we haven't told the audience yet. There's a major
Do it.
milestone. Sure. The Sunday with Charles YouTube channel has reached 3,000 subscribers.
That's
So
really
thank
good.
you.
Yeah,
It is. Thank you to
Thanks to them. Thanks for
everybody
watching.
who has subscribed.
And thanks for watching and sharing these videos, which I think a lot of people do. I know I was having trouble actually sharing things until you taught me one thing. So I've been making up for lost time and sharing a lot of articles, which we're going to talk
Good.
about some of them today. I think it's probably past time to go back and share out a guide or failing a guide, a list of the top 100 videos or the top 200. We've got, I think, over 500 you and me
Easily.
together.
More weed stations.
You can pay her $5 to get a Polaroid picture taken, if you like, Jason. I know that's
Who?
Hi, that young lady over there.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. But this
So-
is quite busy. I mean,
It is. What's this guy doing?
I don't know. He's getting ready for that woman with
Oh, he's
the.
giving massages in the nude or something. I don't know why that's. Look at that chair, looks filthy. You want to press your face into it? It's just better to stick with the weed.
I think we'll see. Yeah. This is
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
you get a trash bag of weed. This
Selling
is
it
obviously, it's clear that New York is back, baby. I mean, de Blasio has laid a solid foundation that Eric Adams, he stands on the shoulders of giants. We're back to selling ice cream and pretzels and hot dogs, and for Biden, nuts for nuts.
Doesn't seem as popular as weed.
Yeah, well, can't imagine why.
Well, just to clarify my position here, I support the legalization and legal sale of marijuana. I don't personally feel it's any more harmful than alcohol or cigarettes. In fact, I think it might even be less so. My issue is the free flow of illicit commerce, where people who are actually paying to have businesses and
Right.
doing all the complicated things that you need to do to be in compliance with the rules in New York City, which I've been doing for 30 plus years. These guys just roll up here and start selling weed. None of that money goes back to the city in the form of taxes. Or
No, I'm sure they fill out all the forms and sell, the payroll taxes. They're really careful about that. Actually, don't go over this.
It's also just flowing money to a criminal element that is, unlikely to. It seems to take the money out of the circulation from
The so-called
city.
take the money and run plan.
Well, now wait a minute.
So we'll
Let's
go
look at
down.
this. We got a Chevelle, Charles.
There you go.
Wow, that's probably. I don't know that much about Chevelles, but some of them are crazy valuable. That car might be worth $100,000.
Wow. Might is the key
Now,
word there.
but the other thing I learned is that when I was talking to the restaurateur where this wheelie bike guy drove by, I asked him, because their outdoor hut was empty,
Right.
and he said they don't like using it because it messes up the waiters and the flow of the restaurant.
Right.
And he also said that it's a problem for the city because it's taking away a lot of metered parking.
Right.
And the city's lost a lot of money. And he also said that it's taken away a lot of revenue from the city in the form of parking tickets, which I don't really like to think about in terms of revenue for the
Right.
city, but it's undeniable that they do get money from it. And it just causes you to wonder, why are they taking all these steps that are draining the money and resources of New York City while we simultaneously see crime exploding, weed being sold not in licensed shops that pay taxes and rent, but by essentially criminals in the park?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we understand that the program is the Destroy America Now plan. I mean, it's not
Right.
not trying to maximize utility and protect the welfare of the citizens. We're trying to borrow more money than we take in, to steal as much of it as possible, give it to our family and friends, and to our various mistresses and whatever you call them.
That's a park vehicle. Look at that. It's a wreck.
Yeah. That's one of the big gimmicks that I know about from up in the Millbrook area, that the various bureaucrats, in addition to getting no-show salaries, they get free car, and that is worth a lot of money. Look at this
Right.
thing.
Well, you got a motorcycle going right into the park.
You see this?
This is you got a 900cc motorcycle driving into the park. That is a full rice rocket. That
Right.
thing can go
Oh, the thing
probably
is- look at the
180
thing in
miles
front
an
of
hour.
It's like a mobile camera.
What the hell is going on?
Anarchy, man. No. Let's go down past your.
Why don't we just get a Raptor and start driving it through the park?
Right. We're taking an airplane. See if we can fly it at street level.
That's wild.
Absolutely wild. So this is where we are now. This is McDougal Street, NYU Law School is here, and this is normally when NYU isn't fully back in session. This is just thronging with students and faculty and
This
parents.
is new. Wilf Hall.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that.
I think there was a Wilf, I'm pretty sure, who was a very wealthy family, and his son worked at a junior level in one of the firms I work for.
It's beautiful now, even nicer than
Yeah.
earlier this morning.
It is very nice. But I used to regularly walk by this thing in the morning as I'd get a cup of coffee and then walk to the park. And I'd see multiple homeless people just, sprawled out all over those cubicles. Who knows what they actually had been doing in there. Doesn't make me feel very good about wanting to sit down and eat in such a cubicle.
Well, I mean, there's no longer a need. You're allowed into the inside of the restaurant, although there's still a fair chunk of people who
We want to go, I think,
masks on the
past your Monty's.
sure masks on the plane, and
Snakes
that's
on
actually
the
perfect timing because we ran into Peter on the show last week, so we'll walk by the restaurant this week.
Yeah, don't worry about the light. Of course, laws don't matter.
Uber.
Uber's
suck.
stupid.
So there was just a little breaking news that apparently Twitter might be reconsidering this Elon Musk offer because he's got the money.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to go through a process when Morgan Stanley, which is a highly reputable firm, stands up and says, we've got the financing together for the richest guy in the world to buy this thing.
That's
you
not
can't
a joke.
You can't say, well, I'm not even I won't even entertain.
Come back with a serious offer.
Right. Here's a guy begging right next to every patron in that restaurant. I think Cafe Wow, isn't that a...
Well, that is where Jimi Hendrix was allegedly discovered. And then this place is famous from the TV show
Let's
Louis
keep walking.
C.K. But now Louis C.K.
He's
is
in trouble, right?
in trouble again because he got a Grammy for his comedy album. And Rebecca, I think her last name is Carey.
Of Sunnybrook Farm?
What?
Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm?
I don't know about that.
Yeah. I'm
But
sure
this is
you
another
know.
comedian who apparently was the subject of harassment by Louis C.K.
I don't doubt it. Is this artichoke pizza made out of artichokes instead of...
Their specialty is a pizza with artichokes on it. There's a few of those.
This place appears popular.
Off the wagon. That's kind of a college place. That was new when I was at NYU.
That's right.
There's more money
is-
for Elon Musk, Charles.
That's right. There's a lot more activity than, say, six months ago. Or 6 months ago was... No, let's keep going.
Can't talk right now, sorry.
Let's keep...
Let's just keep our eyes on this guy.
Yeah.
All right, and then after that,
You would think this guy would get the idea that we're walking away from him and not wanting to talk. Here's Monty.
Here's Monty's, which is a nice place.
Yes.
And a nice old BMW.
318 or something.
325, I think it says.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. God almighty.
Ah, street sweeper, Charles. You wanna? What do I got to do to put you into this today, Charles? This is the Cadillac of street sweepers right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. That's a hybrid. We could get an electric tank because we're worried about the carbon footprint when we're bombing people.
Exactly.
Was that not the stupidest suggestion you've heard?
I just think, I shudder to think what's in AOC's personal diary.
Does she have one?
It's the subtitle for that book would be The Ravings of a seriously insane lunatic.
Now wait a minute. Stuff is coming in. We have this new Figaro,
I don't think Figaro's that new.
but that wasn't there, was it?
The rest, Figaro isn't. Figaro is it? Oh, this is new. This Mermaid Oyster Bar.
Oyster Bar?
This used to be J.G. Mellon's or something.
Yeah, that's what I
Like-
mean. Stuff is coming in here.
It's the season for that. As are babies. Babies everywhere.
Well,
Babies.
I
Now
guess
this-
people have been home a lot.
This is a street here where, I forget on which side, it may be on both sides, it's this side I think, the facade doesn't look that nice, but there's a big park in the middle of the
Oh, nice.
square. It's very
Like a
nice.
courtyard in there.
Yeah, and it's tough to get apartments in the various buildings here.
Now, here's a lone kid going down the street on the sidewalk on a wheeled thing. Here are the parents, apparently.
I didn't realize that you were an expert on parents.
I mean, I presume they are the parents, otherwise
I
that's
don't
a
think you can, in
rogue-
this day and age, I don't think you can presume anything, Jason.
Then that's a rogue little kid just out.
I mean,
Here's a Mexican concept from the Mermaid Inn coming soon.
that's interesting.
Yes, Mexican mermaid.
A Mexican content. Let's have a wall.
Right, you can't get in.
That's right. Yeah, this is, I think, the block of buildings that has some very nice. And this is one of these old, the New York
the gun
Rifle
club.
Club.
But I think it's code
Tirona
for...
Seño of New York, founded 1888.
Yeah, I think you have to be... We're not invited.
It's the Rifle Club.
I understand. I think you bring people in there and you show them the business end of the rifle and they don't leave. My opinion. Now, is Villa Moscone closed? I guess just Sunday it's
It would
closed.
appear to be closed.
But I guess just Sundays. This is owned by the same family that owns Monty's.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. This looks a little
is
bit
nice.
more full.
Asphalt garden here.
But, kids playing whatever,
Remember,
baseball.
I got the bigger bike, 26-inch wheels or whatever. I was in this park with my mother and my brothers, and I was going around and around and around. And for some reason, I just kind of lost focus on what I was doing, and I just rammed the bike full speed into the fence.
Not good.
My mother was watching me like, well, "What are you doing?" "Oh, sorry, I sort of lost track of what I was doing." The crazy shit you do when you're 10 or whatever it was.
Right, not paying that much attention.
Yeah. Oh, the bike will turn itself.
So, the other thing I think that people are concerned about is that on, I guess, Thursday, John Mark Dougan made a prediction that seemed odd to me at the time, where he said that he felt that Russia might employ anti-satellite weaponry to take out the United States GPS system. And then there was a separate report today saying that Russian airlines have been told to prepare for a world without GPS. What do you think of that, Charles?
I think I wouldn't want to be airborne when that happened, or driving a car when that happened. But
But I'm saying the prospect that that would be something that Putin would do, maybe.
I just think it's highly unlikely that the Russians are going to continue to put up with belligerent, bellicose Joe Biden and his merry band of blithering idiots who are saying, we're not really waging a war here. We're just
sending
giving
planes
and weapons and javelins
Money.
and howitzers and money and but we're not directing travel. We're not training people. Oh yeah, we are training people. We're not,
Well, and you've got that guy Nance embedded there wearing an American uniform. I mean, why isn't he being instructed by the U.S. military to get his ass out of there?
I think he was given a choice. You're going to be fired at MSNBC and get no money, or go over to Ukraine and maybe you'll be able to survive for a little while. You want to go past the Hunter Biden art gallery, or do you want to go keep
Yeah,
going?
let's see what's going on there. Who knows? What's the latest with Hunter Biden? I haven't heard too much about him.
Oh, there's been a lot of news in that in many, many different places. We're learning, first of all, that Hunter Biden. Well, that's
Legal weed.
Is this new?
This painting? No, I
Or
think
have we
this has been
focused
here.
on this before?
I think we've seen it
This
before.
is somebody from Brazil did this. Tito Ferrara
Love
from
it.
Sao Paulo. That's pretty nice.
I mean, definitely
It's tough
takes
to
a lot
wrap,
of skill to do.
tough to frame it, but it's
I guess street artists, the transient nature of the art itself is part of it. You can enjoy it now and it'll get painted over or bills posted or whatever.
You can claim you own it.
Take
I
a
own
picture
that.
of it.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
It's like some kind of a bike repair pop-up shop.
But that's what I'm saying. What about somebody who's spending a lot of money on a retail recycle vintage bikes?
Well,
You selling bikes, or what do we got? What?
Take the whole block.
Are you guys selling bikes?
It's gotta be
Yeah.
They don't seem too committed to making any sales.
Well, and this guy is collecting a fee for allowing people to set up shops
On a sidewalk.
on a sidewalk he doesn't own. Of course, New York City doesn't care about that. I mean, we don't have a massive deficit.
Look at the giant bee.
It's amazing what's going on here, Charles.
I know. You could probably, why don't we just put City Hall in Airbnb? And see,
We just put it in Fresh Kills landfill and let Eric Adams. Somebody said Eric Adams lives in New Jersey. Do we know anything about
the
that?
issue is apparently Eric Adams, like Donald Trump, but for different reasons, refuses to provide his tax returns. And the suspicion some raise is that this is just junk. The suspicion.
Crystals.
Yeah, I mean, just take it direct to the dump.
It's Michelin rated, Charles.
What is Michelin aircraft are?
Yeah.
I mean, nice skull there.
The Beatles.
I'm sure these prices are fair. You want some used, somebody else's shoes?
I had that album under cover of the night, Rolling Stones, $30.
All right, so you're
This person loves the Rolling Stones.
you're a 30 buccaneer.
I don't think I have it anymore. And then also there was Sticky Fingers, had the zipper on it.
And here we have some nice fake leather.
Oh, this will be awesome, Charles.
What? What? Don't break it.
No, it's just you can do cool things with mirrors on sets that you'd be surprised by, particularly in 3D.
Wow.
Great shot in Julia X under the car,
Wow.
created with a mirror.
I mean, this is indistinguishable from
What?
junk.
Here's more money for Elon Musk. Going to New Jersey.
So we started down this track. You were asking back before we were so rudely interrupted by that guy who kept asking you about the camera.
Oh yeah.
What jag were we on then?
Well, the Twitter buy.
Right. That's where we were. So where we are now is, I mean, it's Sunday, and I'm sure there are many people as we speak who are window shopping. They're going around and, oh, that looks nice. Maybe let's look at these real estate listings. Let's do this. Let's do that. What Musk has done so far is make a very soft proposal. I mean, it's a conditional proposal.
Not even tender.
It's not a tender offer at all.
Right.
So it's a conditional contingent proposal, which before as a board you would go very far down that track. You'd say, look, we're not going to expose all sorts of information to you unless you tighten your proposal up. And you don't need this contingency, you don't need that contingency, you don't. And by the way, in exchange for our letting you see this information, you're going to sign a non-competition agreement. You're going to sign a
Pretty restrictive.
employee poaching agreement.
Hunter's art.
Farm to table.
Yes.
Dumpster to table. Let's see. Can we frame this? I mean, this is a nice shot right here. I think we can do an NFT on that one.
There's all these stray children going around. Little boy, where's your... Okay,
Right.
there's the car. His twins. No.
They're adding to the art. Thank you for depositing that in our art. Is that the guy?
George. Not him.
Not George in the Jungle. But this is, nice to have this.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
It's
crazy.
the kind of stuff, you're shopping and you go buy garbage there, and then there's garbage here, and you don't really know what's in this garbage. You don't want to think too much
No, but
about
wait a
it.
minute. But he is walking in there.
Yeah, just leave him alone though.
Oh, no. He's in the adjacent thing. This is George Berger right here.
Yeah,
The door's open.
I know. He's there, I think, with a crazy
Yeah,
head.
he's right there.
He's been in Camp David.
That guy?
George, yeah, he was photographed with a.
And what do you think he says if we walk in there? Just
we already
charge right at
Yeah,
us.
I don't want to go there, but he's.
M11.
I'll take it as pretty certain that he has not sold many canvases yet.
Why would you say that? I bet you he has. People
At
want
$500,000
influence.
each. Oh, no, $500,000 each. I mean,
I don't know.
it would be like the people I knew who were sitting around after the internet bubble burst, talking about what are the stupidest things they each bought for their investment firms. And two people I know were all sitting there and said, well, I put $20 million into balls.com.
Kamala Harris could be the spokesperson.
Yeah, so you put 20, I put 40.
They're changing the name to ballsonthechin.com.
Easy, Jason, easy. I should be castigated for bringing us there, but
Are we not allowed to
it's a Sunday show. The
say
kids
that
watch
on
it.
YouTube? Kids don't watch this show.
Now, do we want to go
Wherever.
over that way, maybe
Sure.
to the east?
Yeah.
Just this is one of the main was one of the main shopping streets in Soho, right? Prince Street.
I would say.
And we'll see. There are a lot of big brand name signs up. Whether there are any shoppers is another question.
Well, it's a beautiful day.
Yeah. Now, I mean, should we compare and contrast that art with
Sure.
Hunter's art?
I think it's probably better, just from what I can see right here.
I agree. I mean,
But it's just taped to the wall.
well, it's, you know,
The whole place is for rent. Are you the artist, sir? Yes. I think your work is much better than Hunter Biden across the street. Are you aware of that other gallery?
Question is he aware?
Exactly. I like where you're going with that. I don't know if he's aware of too much.
Actually, this work is a gentleman.
Oh, your work.
Mine is left there, but you can ask him about Hunter Biden maybe. I don't know that.
I detect an accent. Are you not from New York?
Actually, I live in New York for 2 decades, but yeah, I was once in Croatia.
I was
Croatia.
Gonna say, I had a Croatian guy used to work with me, and the accent.
Kind of
Similar.
resonates.
Yeah.
Dubrovnik.
Rijeka. It's on the coast also, but
It was very nice work.
Yeah, it is.
What can you guys tell us? First of all, how can people get in touch with you if they're interested in the art?
well, the best way is to buy it, and then in the back of the art is.
No, but we have people watching on the internet who might want to contact you.
Yeah, you can take a snapshot of
There you go.
here.
Zoran.
Yes, Zoran.
That's a very common name. The guy who did the visual effects
Yeah, pretty
for the
much.
Superman movie was named Zoran.
Yeah,
He invented a lot of optical processes, and I know him. He was into 3D.
it comes with the name, inventiveness.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
So what do you think about Hunter Biden having that whole big art gallery? You guys have obviously been doing art for your whole lives, and nobody's offering you $500,000 for the paintings.
Yet.
Yeah, I hear you that.
Yet.
Because it is, and it's here in the city for sure that you can go to galleries and get some really good works. No
Yeah.
question about that. And I appreciate that you even comment on these. I've been having fun with them, and I haven't been painting all my life. I used to be a tech writer when I first moved into the city in
Oh, yeah?
'98. Yeah. And then 2000 is when I started painting myself.
Uh-huh.
Very
so
nice.
I was in my late 30s then.
I like this one. The color, the blue and the orange really jumps off the page.
Yeah, that's fun. I just got it going.
And you put it up every day and then take it down every night?
No, on weekends.
Just on the
if it is
weekend.
nice weather.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that one I did actually.
That's good. And do you have formal training in art, or you just? Really? Where?
Magandi, you know. So,
I know. I was married in Grace Church, and the reception was in the Salamagundi Club.
yeah,
It's great.
even I'm one of few having
Very nice.
mailbox over there, so
Oh, wow.
it's my second address.
That's very interesting. Yeah. That's an old. Not many people
Well, I'm
know
just
about
getting a
that.
little
But we
static
walk
over
by
here.
it all
I'm
the
sorry.
time.
Oh,
and-
it's old. This is the actually arguably the oldest.
Right.
That's where I'm going. You're going to see me on video.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about this. We Be Live.
Yes. Yes.
Look it up and see.
3D live?
We Be
We Be Live.
Many art schools actually
Yeah, my brother
started
is,
offshots of
Right.
Salamagundi.
Yeah. So in our family, we have some ancestors who settled in Montana,
Yeah.
and early in Montana, before it was a state. And one of them ended up in Great Falls, Montana. And the next door neighbor was Charlie Russell, the famous American sculptor and artist.
Most
Now, I
so
hate to
many-
interrupt, but we do need to move on. Thank you for speaking with us, gentlemen. Good luck with the art sales. Let's continue down
All right.
this way, shall we?
Good luck to you. Thank
Have
you.
a nice
Sort
day.
an art on Instagram if they want to.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you.
He was explaining that he's, I don't know if any of this got on air, but he was explaining that he teaches art at the Salamagundi Club.
Wow. I
is-
was just trying to contain what was two conversations happening at the same time.
No
and
problem.
probably very confusing.
You were being
to
a
the
director.
viewers.
It's okay.
There's a lot of art here.
Yeah. Somebody ought to mock up a T-shirt. You know, I went to Soho to get art, and all I came back with was a piece of shit painting by Hunter Biden.
That could be 500,000 in and of itself.
Do a limited edition, say 100. How many big countries are trying to get something out of the Biden administration?
Here's the art that's coming out of Franklin's bowels. These women look insulted by that statement.
Scavolini.
So sorry, we were talking about the Twitter buy,
Here's your car.
the BMW i8. I'm not crazy about this car. It's a 3-cylinder hybrid. It looks great, and it was an early foray into hybrid sports cars, but it just never really had the performance to live up to its amazing looks and price.
Yeah.
They've discontinued it. It's one of the fastest depreciating, super duper cars like that
Right.
there are. And not a Tesla.
And not a Tesla, exactly.
So people don't like it.
Oh, I know what we were in the midst of. We were talking about Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, right.
And Musk.
Al-Walid, Musk.
And really what was hilarious, I mean, Musk, I don't know what, he's got multiple jobs, right? CEO of this, CEO of that, investor of
Boring
that.
companies, SpaceX, Tesla,
And now maybe Twitter.
Solar City, Twitter.
Yeah. So how he has the time to manage his many children and relationships and travel and also to tweet so effectively. But what did he say? He put out a tweet, said, moving on.
Yes, from Bill Gates.
Speaking of Bill Gates, is that a self-portrait?
We should also acknowledge, Charles, the @CS The Truth Twitter account was kicked off for making fun of Bill Gates. And apparently Elon Musk has more clout than Crowdsource The Truth. Who knew?
But he tweeted out this morning, moving on, and people were afraid that meant he's moving away from the Twitter bid.
Right.
So there was a lot of speculation. That tweet got a large number of likes and whatever else you get.
Retweets.
Retweets, yeah. So this is Spring Street. So another big shopping street down here. Anyway, but Musk's points, I think, are very well taken. The Gates philanthropic effort, the first person to challenge it in a book with academic standing was Lindsay McGooey, who wrote No Such Thing as a Free Gift. And it's we talked about that before. It's a very good book, but it explains that the negative consequences of his throwing too much money in these desperately poor countries, in her view, vastly outweighs the potential benefit. That's before you get through thinking
Why?
about, well, because if you go to a very poor country and you say, all right, all of a sudden I'm going to have a whole bunch of recent graduates of Wellesley come to Accra in Ghana, and they're not going to live on a box.
You mentioned this before. It consolidates the money and attracts thieves and everything.
Right, and you end up just throwing, because for Gates, the money is really funny money. In that
money.
Well, in that what he gave away in the beginning, I don't know if he's still doing it, is appreciated stock. So the stock that he got originally as a founder, it was probably, I doubt he spent $100,000 on it. And then the stock he gives away, let's say it's worth $60 billion, just to pick round numbers, and he's taking a tax deduction against his other income. So he's actually getting a check back.
Yeah,
from the
there's
IRS.
nothing he does that's on straight up. He's a weasel.
Right. Right. And so crowdsource the weasels. But anyway,
We have. There's one.
Yeah. And he apparently was approached by Gates, and Gates is used to just getting his way.
Right.
Said, hey, Musk, I want to talk to you about your philanthropy. I need you to get more active and do more about climate change and other stuff. And Musk just tore him to shreds in a
great.
few tweets. I think it was anyone who has a $500 million short position in Tesla better not start talking to me about fighting climate change.
Right.
You know. And in truth,
There's
I mean,
a portable barber shop.
that's right. So,
Wow.
you know, I never have had a person-to-person conversation other than to just telling Gates was in the green room. And I said, listen, I'm just going to leave my bag here and I'll be back in a second. I didn't know it was Bill
Didn't
Gates.
he say something stupid though?
Well,
Or he got you kicked out or something?
it was fair. There was security. It was a common room, and he was giving an interview with that fraud, Fareed Zakaria.
Oh yeah.
And his studio was right next to that green room. And they put me in a nicer room. It was actually an upgrade. But he just doesn't come across when you say, you know, let's forget who the guy is, forget his money, just
Right.
listen to what he's saying. Does it really sound that smart? And every time I've ever heard him, it's like, this guy actually is the guy behind Microsoft? I mean, it just doesn't. I should say behind the economic success
Last summer, Boston.
of Microsoft. I'm not qualified to evaluate the technical aspects, which you
sucks.
say are horrible, but somehow in business he was able to get IBM at first to put his nascent software.
People said his mom had something to do with that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It was what had happened was, it's well known. His mom was on the board of a charity. There you go. And another person on the board was that guy who took the corporate plane to the dirt, the leader of the personal computer business of IBM. And he was...
Who was that?
The guy who died in a plane crash.
But that doesn't matter with him.
I forget his name. No, he was he was the guy who led the effort. And that man told Gates' mother, you know, we have a problem. We've got the computers fine, but we don't have any software. And Mom said, let me tell Bill about that. And Bill, on the strength of that, the story goes, knew of somebody who had the guts of the software, bought it for a small amount of money, fixed it up, and through the Gates family connections, was able to get IBM to take a hard look at it, and they adopted the software. Is the story I was told.
Wait, so this was Delta Flight 191 in 1985?
What's the name of the guy?
The man who headed the team that developed IBM Personal, Philip Don Estridge, and
Could
his
be.
wife Mary Ann died in the Lockheed L-1011.
Could be.
But that's an IBM spokesman, John Hope, said that.
So now we're on Broadway, I think.
Charles, they love plane crashes. And by the way, we're also live streaming on Odyssey.com. I want to make sure people know about these alternative platforms because there's a huge effort afoot to cancel Crowdsource the Truth. And frankly, everybody, that was part of the stupidity of what B-Rock was talking about in
We have
his
to talk about
dumbass
that.
speech
We have
the
to
other
talk
day.
about that. Yeah.
So people should subscribe to Odyssey. People should subscribe to the Sunday with Charles channel on YouTube. And of course, it's very helpful when people become sponsors of subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. There's a new effort afoot, Charles, to stamp out the monetized portion of Crowdsource the Truth, which would have an immediate, hugely negative impact. So
Right.
I'm trying to diversify things as much as possible. And people who ask, how can we help? Even if you don't want to become a sponsor, there's a lot of people who can't afford it or don't want to for various reasons, and that's totally fine. Subscribing to one of these alternate channels is going to help.
That's good. Yeah, so let's migrate over to that topic of we had B-Rock gave the speech out at Stanford. My understanding, I mean, he's such a big deal that maybe he could push Stanford around and say, I want to do an event tomorrow, and they'll do it. But I have a feeling this was long scheduled.
Right.
And they are mindful, I think, the B-Rock, Biden, Clinton team, Bush team is all mindful of the progress that Durham is making.
Right.
Perhaps mindful of the U.S. tax court case and other. Oh, there's more bikes, I think.
Where?
A couple. Maybe it was just a few bikes. Anyway, so I think the real set of events, or the recent context that was interesting, B-Rock shows up at the White House and
Right.
displays utter contempt for Biden. That's
dumb
the
Joe.
only way I could describe it. I mean,
Poor dumb Joe.
it was not Barack Obama's place as a former president to go in and upstage and the sitting president and treat him as rudely as he treated Joe Biden.
Presidential equivalent of wearing a red dress to somebody else's wedding.
Exactly. Yeah, and so that happened. That sent the message around that, look, there are a lot of former Obama administration people in the Biden White House and key positions in the cabinet and elsewhere. That sends the message that if you want to get something done in the Biden administration, call up B-Rock.
Wow.
And he'll get his people
right
to focus on stuff. And also interesting, though, that Kamala Harris, who is really, she must have some redeeming attributes. Maybe she is, in fact, she says that she loves to cook. And that's why she bought those pots and pans or whatever on her trip to Paris. The border, I'm in charge of that, but I need some pots and pans. So I'm going to go to Paris, and because that's what normal people do after they buy a Tesla.
But can't you buy any French pot and pan here in New York? Or what? Like, why do you need to get that in Paris?
Well, because you want to be in Paris because you want to shop and get other stuff in Paris, and you don't want to go to the southern border.
But if somebody who is going there might say, oh, I'm going to save $80 on this pan from VAT or whatever.
She probably went there to overpay. It's like, I want a chance to pay more money.
Here's more stuff shut down and taken hold of by skateboarders.
That's been like that for quite a while.
Huh.
So more garbage. The garbage hurdles.
So you want something done at the Joe Biden White House, you call B-Rock.
Yeah, and his people. Then he gives this speech at Stanford, which honestly, again, I have grave difficulty watching and listening to him just because he's so arrogant and so stupid. What's that?
That looks like an eyeball logo. He is arrogant as hell.
And this
is a Seinfeld suggestion.
Feel my
50% cotton, 50% linen, 50% silk. How could you go wrong?
How did you price that? Anyway,
here's another weed store.
And this bar seems to have fallen on hard times.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Look at this. This is bold. Right? New York City, #1 cannabis delivery service. How do they know they're #1?
I think they might be.
And they put the phone number here. Selling drugs.
There's no way the police could find them.
Selling drugs. There's no way our FBI could find this, but isn't this like a serious crime?
No.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
What do I know?
Not. But it does speak to the absolute lack of law enforcement that is presently the case.
I think that's spelled lore, L-O-R-E enforcement.
What is this? Fancy ice cream.
Ice cream.
Huh. Vanilla chocolate strawberry. It looks good, actually.
If you need to get some ice cream, we can.
Well, I don't really feel like ice cream right now, but I must admit I'm tempted by that.
Let's keep going east.
Yeah.
And anyway, he gives this speech where he said it's just riddled. He's the king of making erecting an argument on a false foundation.
Yes.
Everybody knows that the First Amendment doesn't apply to Twitter and Facebook. What are you talking about?
But it's important because he said it 2 days before that European law passed.
Right, and then Hillary gets out on her, leaves the coven and gets a shot of whatever, a pick-me-up shot to offset the impact of 40 vats of Chardonnay. And she tries another tack of saying, well, the approach we need to take here is to follow our European overlords who are going to do a pan-European anti-disinformation set of protocols, laws, regulations, etc. And then, not to be outdone, incurious George W. Bush gave an interview in April of 2021, which for some reason is all over the internet, all over TV yesterday, where he was talking about the need to curtail the spread of disinformation. Now,
because he's a genius.
Yeah. What people need to understand is you betray. There's that phrase, you've used it before, better to stay quiet and keep people guessing about your intelligence than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. And that's what these three people have done. I mean, the campaign here to say some set of supposed geniuses is going to decide what is disinformation and what isn't.
Well, they didn't even address that.
Yeah.
They just state that there is disinformation,
And it's hurtful,
and we need to
Jason.
stamp it out.
It's
right.
hurtful.
Right.
And actually, that's like saying, henceforward, we're not going to have any cynical comics. We can't do that.
Right.
It's hurtful. People make fun. Don Rickles, good thing he's dead, right?
Well, how about we're just not going to have any dissent? Because if we decide something is information and you challenge it, we'll label whatever you say disinformation
And that information.
and then shut it down. Oh, that guy just gave us the don't film me, but we weren't even filming him.
I don't speak that language.
Right.
Here we have, this is lovely.
That
Yeah.
guy just coughed in my face.
Would you like your garbage bag paired with your drink, or do you want this to go, or?
Charles, there remain so many people who are so afraid of the COVID and the concept of getting sick.
Right.
I think it's actually mentally unhealthy to walk around with that degree of fear, given that there are so many random things that could happen to any individual that would have a remarkably negative impact on their health. To be so focused on
Right.
one
They
negative
should,
outcome.
I think we should get somebody to translate Chicken Little into some other language, and then we could call it some Latin version of it or German thing. We'll call such Chicken Little syndrome.
It would have to be tofu chicken or impossible chicken.
That's
Because
right.
Bill Gates will not allow you to eat chicken anymore.
Yeah, well,
Or perhaps he's reconstituting chickens from fecal matter.
I have no doubt. That's a
It's all
special.
just atoms, Charles. We
That's-
rearrange them.
That's a special
What's
sauce.
going on in here? Why is everybody waiting? Oh, a line to go shopping.
No, I couldn't have figured that out. Thanks.
But I mean, this place looks like a wreck. And why do we need a line?
It's because you have a line, you put something out on whatever, and idiots will come down and take their scholarship proceeds and student loan proceeds and stand in line next to the bags of garbage. I mean, somebody ought to do. Remember the Italian tour, the Perillo tours?
Yes.
All those ads on TV.
And then they had the sun. You could take a cruise to Italy.
Right. And you could do the AOC tour of New York City, a BSC tour of New York, batshit crazy tour of New York. Get on the train, take the train from Tokyo to New York, and come around, and you can take as much garbage off the streets for free as you want.
Is that an appealing location to you, Charles?
Dial a poem.
No, life is a
I know.
killer.
Dial a poem.
My girlfriend last day of pop-up shop.
So who is Snow Zhu Gao?
Correct, that's my girlfriend.
From where?
Right on. She went to Parsons 8 years ago, graduated with masters. She has her own brand for 5 years, featured on Vogue. Yeah.
Nice.
Really nice stuff.
Are you in the fashion business too?
So I'm actually just helping her out. She is.
Is she now? She's paying you, right?
She's doing well. She's giving me some proceeds.
Because you
But
can't
a
get,
lot of
you can't do a free
You're
intern.
a kept man.
kept man, but I make sure I'm taking it to next level. I can do it.
Yeah,
Trust
I'm
me.
sure you can. Yes, we can.
Yes, we
Did
do.
she design this?
She designed this. Yeah.
Looks good on
I'm
you.
also a model. For her.
Thank you.
Very good. Good luck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You too.
Charles, every business
Nice hat.
is...
Looks good on you.
That's what I just did to him, and he didn't even notice. Hey, what's with the pictures? We're in a parking lot. Well, but just back on B-Rock for a minute, there are so many sinister things that he did in there. I think that the fact that he started by saying that it's a private company that isn't controlled by or beholden to, look at that logo, Charles.
Which? That's sort of like, it's like a bow tie, I think.
Well, it's Extinction Rebellion sideways also. But he wants you to know that this thing isn't protected by the First Amendment. He's preparing everybody for the coming argument, which is, well, because we have to accommodate Europe and because so many idiots here think
Right.
that hate speech is something they have the right to stop,
Right.
that the First Amendment doesn't cover hateful speech, which it does.
Well, it's a school of thought of people. You have a right to get something if you're triggered by
Right.
the behavior of somebody else. No, you don't.
But
You know,
also, it's not entirely correct what Obama is saying, because I believe I read to everybody yesterday this Supreme Court decision from 1973, Harrison versus
Norwood.
right, where
I
they
only know that because you told me.
determined that they determined that if the government induces a private citizen or industry to do something against the Constitution, you can't do that.
Right.
And that sounds to me like what is happening.
Well,
And B-Rock did not address any of the violations of antitrust laws,
he
the
doesn't-
violations.
I mean, he doesn't have an astute legal mind. I mean, forget about whether he has an astute mind, period. I'm not a lawyer, but I every time he weighs in on a topic such as this one, it further confirms my belief that the guy slept his way through Harvard Law School.
That's politically incorrect. It's Doe mentally challenged.
Boy, this guy's partying on.
What's going on over there?
So this is, I think, this is the Bowery. In the older days, when
Yep.
I was a kid, this used to be where drunks and winos hung out here.
The ninja store.
The marital arts supplies.
Right.
I shudder to think what they're selling.
We've been by it before. It's the
cli-
ninja store.
Yeah, our clients are principally the countries of China and India, and you can see our products are doing quite well.
Well, when that
So, so this idea, nice. This idea that Facebook, by being a company that was created in, I think, 2000 or something, or 2000 whatever,
don't know.
that it's just exempt from the Constitution. You know, the founder lives in America, the investment money, a lot of it came from America, the employees are mostly based in America, but we're going to create a company, the Constitution doesn't apply to us, because the Constitution doesn't specifically say Facebook, anything about Facebook or Google or whatever. It's like the argument that, well, the Constitution doesn't have anything in there about grenade launchers, so
Right.
you don't have a right to own a grenade launcher.
But also the Constitution is not the only single solitary law that exists. Even if he's correct that the First Amendment is not specifically applicable to decisions made by
Right.
private companies, there's a raft of other considerations with regard to Twitter, Facebook, social media in general, how these user content generated sites deal with policy changes and kick people off.
Right.
That there needs to be a whole conversation about the thing. The biggest problem that I had is that he's telling us about disinformation while reiterating this foregone conclusion that has not been substantiated
Right.
with facts or evidence that Donald Trump won the 2016 election as a result of interference and collusion with Russia.
I know. Well, so just to dwell on this for a second, my understanding, again, not as a lawyer, but just as somebody who still can read and I think whose mind pretends that it can function,
I think you're in pretty good shape.
I think the reason that the Bill of Rights is not in the Constitution, the body of the Constitution, but instead comprises the first 10 amendments, is that there were founders who believed you didn't need to have such a statement in writing because it was self-evident that you had these rights prior to the creation of the government. See, that's a much
There's
loftier.
something important that Obama did with that as well, because he was speaking to the Cyber Policy Center at Stanford,
Right.
and these are all students who are going to go into big tech and whatever, and he said, think about the Constitution as the operating system. We need a few patches on there.
Oh God.
And the amendments, those were like upgrades. And so there's a problem with the system.
Yeah.
People aren't satisfied.
You're doing the Obama invitation pretty well.
Well, that's what I mean.
We'll get you. That's the Obama invitation. We'll have to get you one of those $7,000 suits.
Well, thanks. But I'm saying Obama is not stupid. He's very smart and he's sinister. And he's appealing to people. That's an idea that will stick in your head as a student leaving that lecture.
Right. But it's wrong. And it doesn't say, you don't get up there on the Bible in the Constitution or the Quran or whatever he used and say,
I'm using a beta version.
yeah, exactly. I swear to uphold the version 2009
2.16.
yeah, of the Constitution, subject to its being thoroughly updated. And
Yeah, gold master build.
you know, that's not what the oath says. And by the way, that oath,
This guy on the sidewalk with the
Idiots.
bicycle.
the oath is in, I believe, the body of the Constitution.
What oath?
The president has to take to swear. Here, more garbage. I mean, look at this nice purple stuff. What's that? Or
What
pink
is
stuff?
that?
I don't know.
Chemical
Cigarette butts.
something is purple.
We got cigarette butts. We got
Oh, I
water.
can smell it.
Yeah.
Ah,
Right next to.
the Bowery Bar. But this is that the original Bowery Bar?
I don't know.
Sounds
Now,
like a motorcycle
the-
race, Charles.
The whole.
The whole what?
This was the whole. Whatever it
Oh
is.
yeah, it's
nice
an art
big.
gallery, isn't it?
Well, actually, no. That's
It's a little bit Dali-esque.
Botan Karazetezi, the opium smoker's dream.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah. If I ask the person a question, I don't think we should go in there with it.
You could go in
I
there.
just didn't ask him.
That's definitely Dali-esque.
Hi there. What are you asking for that one? $15?
It's a good deal.
And how old is the artist?
It's like a ninja bullet. What is that?
87. All right, it's 35. So how do you feel about Hunter Biden charging $500,000 for his paintings? Joe Biden's son?
Joe Biden's son.
500,000. You're only charging 15?
Well, I mean, if his famous from his father.
I mean, this is art. This is good. Very, very well done. Where was this person trained? Huh. Oh, Thomas the Tank Engine. Huh.
I'm familiar with
where's
his work.
Thomas the Tank Engine? I'll just stay out front. But this is really nice. Good luck to you. Thank you. I mean, that's real art. 15,000 bucks.
Biden-
And here we have this guy is a real artist
Thomas in the Tank Engine.
doing actual art on real canvases and getting only $15,000, whereas the crackhead is on crack doing shit art and asking $500,000, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's totally straight deal.
And how long did it take me to establish the cost of that painting?
2 seconds. More Extinction Rebellion looking stuff
Right.
with the Ukraine colors.
What is this?
I don't know. What are you ladies doing? This a demonstration of some kind?
I don't know.
What's going on? Is this a tour or a protest?
Tour. It's a tour of people who are not inquisitive.
Blondie. Oh, this must be the club
Let's
where
get away-
Blondie
let's
did
get
her
away from the
deal.
music, so that you don't get
you know-
demonetized.
Charles, are you aware of Blondie's role in the dawn of hip hop?
No.
Oh.
But you can put that on the long list of stuff I know absolutely nothing about. Are you aware?
Rapture.
Snack. All right. But just staying for a second, 15,000 for something that I would hang on my wall, versus 500,000 for something I'd be so ashamed. I'd throw up every hour the rest of my life thinking that I'd wasted 500,000 on a piece of garbage.
I think that girl was returning from Times Square. She had some sort of character costume on.
Well, could be.
Well,
So my littlest brother was in, there was a theater, I want to say he was here. He was in, let's see.
October's very own.
Yeah.
What is
Bond
that?
Street, formerly the Bond Street Savings Bank, the Bowery Theater. He was in, I think it was Antigone, as a young guy, maybe 7 or 8.
Huh.
That's where he developed his interest in the theater, and he used to hang around with all the actors who would then go across the street to this place, which I guess is still open. Over here.
What is it?
The name we'll be able to see in a second with
Hey,
this,
is this the Chevelle?
the striped awning thing.
It is.
It is the Chevelle. Following you, Jason.
Wow.
It's karma.
Isn't that weird? Well, so let's just look at this for a second. This is a very clean look at the interior.
Yeah.
Malibu. Yeah, and it's a 350.
Historical plate.
Right, this is probably,
What does it say on the back here?
here, just hold this 1 second. I'm just going to check the registration to see the date of it. It's a 1969. Pretty nice. Super clean.
19 what?
69.
Huh.
So people will be able to know a lot about this cool
Yeah, it
Chevelle.
looks nice. Right next to your own deposit of garbage.
Well, this is being hermetically preserved in the styrofoam. We don't want it going bad.
Right.
What is this? Bill Maher adulting. So Bill Maher is kind of changing his position on some things.
Well, he's
isn't he?
all over the place.
He was
yeah.
on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Let's go down. Let's just. I want to get the name of this place. It may be under different management now.
But so Barack Obama did a lot of sinister stuff during that speech. He's basically preparing his constituents, even though he's no longer the president, he still has constituents, preparing them to be on this fight. We're like, yeah, it's a private company, it can do whatever it wants. Forget about how it induced you into producing content for years to build up the billions of dollars of value that it has.
It's a different management.
Gemma, Fruity de Mar. Looks good, actually.
And like also like very
Little Italian seafood restaurant there.
I'm thinking we'll go up to 8th Street and then for St. Mark's. And then
Oh
we'll
yeah,
make a
there's
right.
something new on 8th Street as far as that corner there. There's a restaurant that's come in. So there are, I guess, businesses that are, opening for the summer. They want to be ready.
Yeah. This is, I believe, I'm pretty sure my brother and I were walking by this building a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and there was a guy, doorman, came around the corner yelling, and we come around here and there's a homeless guy with his pants down taking a dump.
Oh, wow.
And
Nicely done.
Perfect place. You can spend millions of dollars on a condo and you have this artistic garbage placement here.
It actually smells like very good pizza right here. But it just went away.
Next to the 7-Eleven. I always want to spend millions of dollars on a condo in a building that has a 7-Eleven in it. What could possibly go wrong with that on the Bowery?
Unbelievable.
Actually,
Now-
this might be the old place. We'll see in a second.
There were other topics that we wanted
Well,
to...
we haven't. So this issue of what is information and
Yeah.
and the point. Yeah, Phoebe's. This is the
Oh,
old one.
Phoebe's, of course.
Yeah.
I know Phoebe's.
Well, this was in the 70s. It was Phoebe.
But it was there in the 90s. It was a big NYU place.
Sure. Let's look at the menu and see what they're charging these
The
days.
food is terrible.
I don't think you come here for the food.
Yeah, it's booze. Although actually this looks upgraded from back in
House
the day.
steak sandwich 20. That doesn't seem that high.
That's a lot.
Strip steak 27. This is not as high as around where I am. Of course, maybe the
Stuff has
portions are
gotten
like
expensive.
tiny.
French onion soup is $7. That's pretty
low.
regular.
I'd say that's low. I think the fancier, not like the super fancy restaurants, but the mid-price. Yeah, live
Go
here.
against the light and just fast enough that you're going to kill anybody or create an accident.
Klaus Anal Schwab's cousin.
He is heading towards the UN. More money from Musk.
More Musk money.
He's just stacking paper, Charles.
I know what we'll do. We're going to go by this. I was telling you, I released footage from Joe Biden's military service.
What was that?
He was very modest. He didn't want to, brag about all this stuff because while he was in law school, he also was in the military. And so I put on my Twitter feed clips, with him, with that guy you know about, and Hogan's Heroes, and
Oh, Bob Crane?
yeah, Bob Crane. He's in there with, he's the Sergeant Schultz. I see nothing.
How did Joe Biden avoid military? Wouldn't he have been in Vietnam or something?
I think, it was like, listen, we hear you're dumber than John McCain.
Yeah.
Right? And McCain was
Blew
in
up an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, I mean, he blew up. I don't know if he blew the whole thing up, but
Well, he just blew up a plane that started a fire that wrecked it and killed a ton of people.
and here's this Hollywood place, right? The Standard.
Standard, yeah.
I sat in here once and had a couple of
That's
drinks. It's nice.
They're trying to make
Little
it
buggy
like the
in there.
Ivy.
The Ivy's. I haven't been to the Ivy in 30, 40 years, but it's. But it's nice. So we're going to go. Actually, this is, in a little known fact, there are a lot of Ukrainians around here.
What
see
do you
that
mean?
in a second.
Oh, right.
And we're going to go.
Further east. No?
When Joe got drummed out of the military for being as stupid as he is, and obviously he didn't serve in the military,
Yeah.
he came to the establishment we're going to go to his favorite watering hole. See if it's still in business. I mean, he and his son and an extended family were major consumers. Actually, I think, now that I think about it, I believe Joe Biden doesn't drink.
They mentioned that recently.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he's naturally drunk.
Or is it because,
Well, he probably has a family problem. I mean,
right, addiction problems?
he certainly has stupidity problems.
Right.
So that's Cooper Union.
This is part of it too, isn't it?
And the Cooper Union had a large endowment, and if you got in, it was free. And then Jeffrey Epstein's brother went on the board and fucked it up royally, expanded, built this monstrosity, and now you have to pay if you get in.
Really, it's a bad thing.
It's horrible. I mean, it's Peter Cooper's legacy, the
I know.
famous governor of the colony or whatever.
Here, look, somebody put a Ukrainian flag there.
This is all Ukraine Alley. You're going to see in a second.
Thank you, God, for my eyes have seen the dawn of a new day.
Let's see if we see any Bandera signs. Actually, we'll go across here.
Well, there was some kind of big Ukrainian rally yesterday.
That got ugly, where people were cheering on the Azov Brigade.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, how did it get ugly? I didn't see the ugly part.
Well, they have video of it.
And what got ugly?
Well, the people were yelling and screaming, pro Azov, and the other people said, "Oh, wait a minute, that's bullshit. We're not pro Azov."
Huh, interesting.
So this is.
Must go in your house.
What was that?
I don't know. So this is. I never liked this place, McSorley's Ale House.
Oh, God, I hate it.
I don't know if they still have sawdust on the floor.
The beer is terrible. The people running it are assholes.
Yeah, they still have the sawdust.
It smells
I
terrible.
remember coming here in high school and thinking, what's so fucking, this is a seedy dump.
I hate it.
And here we have a Ukrainian church. Now, in my day, as a youngster, you did not go east of 3rd Avenue.
Right.
It was
Well, Alphabet City.
I think, I'm going to try 3rd Avenue. You
Right.
get 3rd,
Second,
2nd, 1st, and then Alphabet.
Right.
So, but the 3rd and over was filled with unrenovated cold water flats, and
That means no hot water.
in the winter, no heat.
Wow.
Derelict
Who would take
buildings.
that?
Well, if you've got no alternatives, better than sleeping on the street. What's this car?
It's a Jaguar with a ticket.
I love this snobby English say Jaguar.
Jaguar, but also this was when Ford bought.
I think it's pronounced jerk off.
This guy, that's why he got a ticket,
What?
because he parked right by a fire hydrant. But that was when Ford bought Jaguar and Aston Martin, and Aston Martin got pissed that Jaguar looks basically exactly like an Aston Martin,
Right.
and now it's separate.
Fully furnished apartments for lease, no fees,
No fees.
but lots of fleas.
Right.
Yeah. So this is actually pretty quiet over here, and they may have changed. No, here it is. This is Joe Biden is changing the name of his administration.
Oh, the Burp Castle, of course. But it doesn't seem open.
It's always like when it's open. I don't know if they still have these rules. You're not supposed to talk.
Yeah, I don't know. These weird theme bars. Oh, maybe it is open.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello? Burp Castle. Hi, are you guys still open? All right, cool. Are you still not allowed to talk when you're in here? Sorry? Got it. Thank you. Charles, I just got a clarification on the rule.
What's that?
You have to whisper.
Right. Because the standard when people burp, they're like burp, and then they're whispering
Well-
about it. I just burped.
And when you go to a bar, no one's ever noisy or
Not in a bar.
rowdy.
Not over here. Not in this part of town.
Yeah.
And here we have a Hare Krishna back from a long day at work. It's probably actually, cardiac surgeon. And this is that church that
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Hillary tried to perform a baptism in there, and lightning struck.
Well, there was some kind of fire, right?
Yeah, and that. Wow, there's some kind of fire. The police all here. I guess there's a street fair.
Yeah. Oh, we could check that out.
COVID testing. Just give the guy your pocketbook. I think there's no test.
Pirates live there.
Huh. Yeah, I just these outdoor street fairs. I mean, the food is disgusting.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm far less picky about food than you are, but even for me, it's like gross.
That's, yeah.
It's a big burger.
Yeah.
New York City's best burger. Now, do you think they'd lie about
I
that?
think every single place you walk by says that.
It says, Paul's voted New York City's best burger by Paul.
By Paul, right. Does it say that?
No,
Oh, yeah. But I'm
by
sure.
Hunter.
Best burger voted by crackheads.
So we go that way?
Well, let's check out this street fair and see what's going on. They've become a major hub for weed sales.
Well, the police are here. They wouldn't
They're
allow
probably
any
just texting.
illegal activity. To see,
Smells like
you know,
burnt meat.
700 bikes go through here. See, this is more of this stuff, right? Cashmere art, yeah, I'll bet.
His dream catchers.
I collect street fair art.
Yeah, it does feel like a lot of the stuff that they have at these things are usually junk.
Yeah, I think they just, I mean, the stuff that Goodwill can't sell, I think it ends up here. Now,
So-
on contrast, though, I bet you that meat market is really good.
Behind there,
Yeah. East
Jay
Village,
Bakzinski.
however you pronounce it. And here's the Ukrainian national home.
Yeah.
Don't tell Russia.
Wow. So what is that?
It's a national home.
But what do you
Home
mean?
of swimsuits, lingerie and swimsuits. Got the
But it's just a hotel, right?
making perfect sense. Careful.
Here's Ukrainian East Village restaurant. And then what's that?
It's a, I don't know. Let's see, is there
Give us
a
wings.
menu here?
Let Ukraine fly. So is that a thing saying that they want planes? What is this Ukrainian national house?
It's a restaurant.
Oh, all right, thanks.
Here's the menu.
But it's, I mean, it's a multi-floor thing.
Do they have chicken Kiev? Let's see.
That's like going to France and ordering French fries.
I
They're
know.
like, here, they're just fries.
Well, I came all the way to this restaurant and I want.
Do you guys live in this Ukrainian national house?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about it? What is the house part of it? Like, this looks like apartments.
I don't know.
Just went to the restaurant?
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, thank
Getting
you.
good reviews, Charles.
Let's
It was
see.
good.
You like
We
it?
just went.
Did you have the chicken Kiev?
What's that?
Chicken Kiev?
Kiev?
No, we had
Blintzes we had.
Blintzes. Oh, okay.
Cheese
And they
or
have
blueberry?
Blueberry.
Yeah, you got to go with the blueberry.
All right. Enjoy the vodka.
So, okay, Charles, we got B-Rock with his stupid speech. Harajuku coming this way.
That's right. It's a video game.
Exactly.
Speaks English too. And here's some place that serves tradition. Nothing
This
beats
is,
Vasilka.
oh, this is Vasilka, isn't it?
Yes.
And here's Zelensky. Laser Man, Slava Ukraini. What is that?
I don't know.
Laser Man, what is that about? Now, New York has a broken heart over Ukraine,
They say they're closed because of Ukrainian.
according to that sign.
Oh, this is Orthodox Easter today. So
So
it would be
it's
closed. Yeah, definitely be closed.
3rd, 3 p.m. Sunday.
No, it'd be closed. I mean, it's just serious. I agree. Just she took the words.
Tattooed.
She
That's
took
a
the
new-
words right out of my mouth.
Now, that girl had a tattoo on her leg, and I can tell you that my ex-wife and her friends were very opposed to tattoos. But at this point, we are certainly the older generation. I wonder if that has changed.
I'm older than the older generation.
But you don't have any tattoos, I don't think.
You can be pretty certain of that one.
It's just a guess, but you know, from knowing you, it doesn't
I
seem
don't.
like
I don't
your
see the
style.
point.
Spruce it up with.
You know,
Well,
you pay to hurt yourself, to put an indelible
Right.
mark on your body. Who are you going to show it to?
I mean, I'm just saying, after being divorced twice, I don't want to get that committed to anything.
Look, it's a bad sign there. I'm not getting a tattoo, which means no wedding for you.
No, I'm saying, yeah, the tattoo is more permanent than the wedding.
Oh, wait, in my case,
So this is a hell of a street fair here, Charles.
it's hell next to a garbage dump.
Well, it's sort of in a garbage dump.
Yeah, I don't understand why anybody takes the health industry seriously. Shut the world down for 2 years, but throw your garbage everywhere in a city that's infested with rats. And
Right.
rats do
Transmit
eventually
diseases.
are famous for spreading plague. You know, so let's just leave, garbage everywhere. You know, why not?
I feel like we're forgetting some major topics that we wanted
Well,
to discuss.
there's the Durham developments.
Oh, right, Ratcliffe.
Right, Radcliffe. Radcliffe has been saying this for some time, and I think perhaps one of the reason for, in addition, the COVID distraction, the Ukraine distraction allows the people who supposedly are declassifying information, which Durham and his people need to see, to say, well, we're overloaded trying to deal with Ukraine.
Yeah, so this has to wait.
So this has to wait. Just any excuse. Oh, well, it's April, and
Yeah,
only 30 days in this month, so
Can't
no
possibly-
point in actually working this month.
right. We need
May, there's a
45
holiday.
years
There's a holiday in May.
to release the documents.
That's a
That's
serious
the Batmobile, Charles.
set of rims
And
here.
he's got an Extinction Rebellion thing on his arm, doesn't
So we will not speak loudly. We will go behind him.
he? No, it's not. It's different.
Also from Pennsylvania.
Maybe he knows Joe Biden. Oh, no,
Yeah.
that's Delaware.
Yeah. Love Foe.
It's too salty.
Never tried it. So, so the Radcliffe is, I think, a straight shooter and has seen, in his capacity as DNI, Director of National Intelligence, he has seen much of this evidence, and he's been saying that his latest headline-grabbing capsule was with Maria Bartiromo this morning, where he said that the information that is going to come out will blow the lid off
Right.
the Durham investigation. And I think that's right, because the real people, I mean, there's some speculation that the big guy getting money out of the Biden emails is not Joe.
What? Who said that?
I've seen different people speculate about it.
But that's people who don't know. I
That
mean,
it's Obama, not necessarily just Joe.
But why did Tony Bobolinsky said it was definitely Joe? He said he's absolutely
Again,
sure. Here's more money for Musk.
Yeah, again, I think this is a game. What's that poker is it a poker expression? That if you can't figure out who the dumbest
Patsy is, it's you.
it's you. I think that this whole program to dumb down the American worker, to surrender our rights and our freedoms,
Yeah.
began before 9/11. Now there's some big bunch of people yelling somewhere, and this
Is that
pro
Mickey Rourke on the right?
after he loses about 50 pounds. So it's a
Started before 9/11. to
started
take
before
the rights.
9/11, and the program to allow Barack Obama and the dolt and his team of dolts to fundamentally transform this country. They weren't transforming it for the better.
Yeah, it was to destroy the Constitution
Right.
and flood the place with immigrants and basically steal everybody's money.
And if you're to go back and look at the value of Silicon Valley's tech holdings, for starters, let's say, on January 19th, 2001, add that up. This is post-bubble, right? So it's going to be depressed.
But most of these companies didn't exist.
I'm saying, and then compare the value of their holdings now, you'll see
Tremendous.
it's tremendous increase in value, probably in the trillions of dollars. And how much of that was sent to the really sophisticated financial people who got the wink and the nod and got the warrants and the options, or however they did it, to ride that rocket ship up. And so they collect hundreds of billions, maybe trillions, and the politicians think they're really fucking smart for walking away with 200 million when somebody else has collected 2 trillion. To just throw numbers around. I have no evidence, solid evidence that those numbers are real, but we do know that B-Rock wasn't worth, he was
a nickel.
Yeah, he wasn't worth shit or Shinola when he went to the Senate. He had very low net worth.
But yet he had a Twitter account before almost anybody.
So we don't.
As if he predicted what would happen, or someone else has shaped Twitter to be a tool for his benefit.
Right, but in addition, before we get up to Twitter, here's somebody from the Circus Rodeo Clan, fashion department here.
Maybe his girlfriend is from China and designed that.
I was like, yeah,
What's good on you though?
Yeah, that was good. I can wait here while you get yourself a family fill-up.
T.O.P.O. is in competition with KFC.
KFC in a landslide.
Don't ask me what the secret recipe is at T.O.P.O. The uncle is doing something.
Oh boy.
Oh, what do we got here?
Get a lot of motorcycles here. Let's just. It's very important.
Fly e-bike. That's a very popular thing now, these e-bikes.
Yeah.
Easier to crash into people.
Coyote Ugly Saloon. That's where they interviewed for the Biden cabinet.
Look at all the garbage in front of IHOP. That's the menu for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I really dislike IHOP.
You don't like their bottomless
It
breakfast?
just doesn't, I really don't like it. That's
Go-
one of those places where even when I was a kid, before I was into healthy food, I was like, something about this place sucks.
What are the ones? There's the Huddle House, the
I don't know
Waffle
that one.
House.
Waffle House.
There's the Huddle House, and the television ad is "Huddle on up to the Huddle House." My kids love that, so we go into the Huddle House, look at the menus. The menus come like this; they're gigantic, and the biggest breakfast special back in 2006, was Umpty Ump eggs. What?
Well, but this is the compliment to Weed World, Bong World. It's a brilliant idea. The girl was looking for Bra World. Don't tell her where it is.
So, on that menu, the big platter was 6 eggs with home fries.
Who's eating that?
And all these gigantic people would come in there. And the
eggs?
most expensive one was all the eggs and the hash browns and the sausage and
$4.
No, it was expensive. But the crowning side dish was lard.
Oh,
Just like
God.
actual thing of lard. Just
That's not.
fork that into your mouth. I mean,
No.
so you want to steal some steaks in this place?
No. So here's a ramen place.
Yeah.
So you can also tell it's new because it has a 646 phone number. I don't think you can get. Someone has a pet rabbit or something. What is
I
this?
don't know that that's a rabbit. Yeah, here's what happens in the public sector now when you raise the costs of ticket takers.
What happens?
They're replaced by machines.
Well, that was there for a while. Here's urgent care coming soon. I mean, we see the way the city is going. It's weed stores, Chinese businesses, the
Crap
646
food.
number. You can't get a 212 number anymore, really.
Crap food.
Crap food, junk food, donuts,
That used to be, was it Five Guys?
5 napkins.
Was it really?
I think that's what it was called, right? 5 napkin burger.
Was
And
it?
then that's gone now, but they're testing for COVID there.
Can you imagine putting that on your resume? Well, I got my degree, didn't get any honors at...
This is, I saw a sign, they're bringing in 5 anal swabs is the new business going in there.
I was an intern at the World Economic Forum in Tenafly, New Jersey. I couldn't get to the one in in Davos, but the satellite one in Tenafly, they said if I really did a good job, I might get to the World Economic Forum in New Jersey, and from there I could compete to be on the U.S., and then maybe I'd go.
But you reminded me of something important with anal Schwab.
I'm sad
It was
about
Obama as president who turned over ICANN, the internet
Right.
thing, to this European whatever.
Right.
And now he's busily telling you, the First Amendment can't protect against these coming things.
Now this is reassuring, right?
And then the European law gets passed. This is what you call baby stepping.
Well, you like this, right, Jason? I mean, right next
I
to
like
Trader
it.
Joe's, you got
also-
garbage right here.
I've had another revelation, though,
What's that?
that this has been in the works for a long time. And anybody who is pro-Obama, like a couple of tall jerks who I know, the stupid Mario brothers,
Right.
I believe this push towards censorship on the internet has been in the works for a long, long time, and that the Port of Charleston incident was intended to be an early, push
Well, remember,
towards that, to show that Jason is too dangerous, that
Well-
he can't be allowed to be on YouTube.
well, remember who the first internet czar was? Ira Magaziner.
right.
Under Clinton. Clinton was the first president to, tout the merits of the internet and claims all credit for the internal developments from, the popularization of the internet. There was DARPANET before the internet.
OnionNet or something?
It was called DARPANET. Maybe
Yeah.
I had that wrong.
No, that was what it was called, but there's a couple of precursors. Obviously they wanted a vast network. But the point is, if we invented it, why give it over to a European body to control? And
Because Europe is closer
what's
than-
going on here?
I don't know. Let's hope there isn't anybody in here. Nothing dangerous about this.
Let's go up Irving Place here,
Okay.
and then into the park.
Irving, I named the place after you.
More money for Musk here. There's a lot of these vehicles around, Charles. I know you were surprised. That's Shoag driving that car. I know you were surprised to see that Tesla sold half as many cars as Mercedes.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that.
That's a lot.
Well, huh?
It's a lot of cars.
Yeah, but a lot of the Tesla cars, I think, in various countries. I know in Norway, in the U.S. also, there were tax
Subsidized a lot,
credits
yeah.
and subsidies. And
Look at this fence around the back.
look at this spare mask. What is the poor person going to do?
I don't know. Ron Howard is virtue signaling from LAX.
I mean,
that he's
he
wearing
was
a mask.
modestly funny as a child actor, but I mean,
I've had it with him.
what a disappointment.
The problem with this whole information, disinformation thing is that there's no transparency to the process of how they determine what is information, what is disinformation. They just arbitrarily decide.
Again, this is that you're usurping the role of the public marketplace. The whole idea the founders had, they didn't want censors.
Well, that's what I mean. It seems like Twitter and Facebook, all these things were basically devised as a way when Obama said he's going to fundamentally change America,
Right.
he meant he's going to circumvent the Constitution. Let's see who's famous. This is a tour bus. This is Irving
Is
Plaza.
that your tour bus?
Some band here.
Is this Crowdsource the Truth tour bus?
I don't have a tour bus.
Oh, Jason, stop lying. Everybody knows you got the best of the best.
Did I ever tell you that I was on Kenny Chesney's tour bus?
I think you might have mentioned that.
It
Was
looks like
Reese
the nicest apartment you've ever been in.
was Reese Witherspoon on the bus with you?
Does he have something to do with Reese?
Wasn't he married to Kenny?
Kenny
Sure.
Chesney? I don't think so.
Maybe they were in a movie.
Are you
together.
guys with the band? What band is in this bus?
We're waiting to go see them.
Which band?
Biffy Clyro.
Who?
From Scotland. Biffy Clyro.
Biffy Clyro. Clyro. Are they big?
It says, if you want to see the spelling, it says it on the door.
Oh, thank you.
You could probably knock on the bus.
Biffy. It says Biffy Clyro.
Oh, well, of course.
That's
I didn't
I've heard
realize
of
this
them.
was 17.
You said Claro, but Clyro I've heard of.
And 33. Wait,
33.
why is 33 right next to 17, Charles? Come here a second. I just realized this. So this is Irving Plaza.
It doesn't make.
I've only been here once. I saw Ben Folds.
No, it
in
makes
here.
sense. 1733, both odd numbers.
Why does that make sense? Doesn't
'Cause
17, shouldn't 19 be next?
Yeah, it depends.
So 33 sometimes comes after 17?
Well, yeah. Let's see what comes after 33.
But I mean,
This is. I
and
mean,
it's we work in the 33.
we don't work.
There's something wrong with we work.
I mean, if you're. This is for Sunday night. Today is Sunday, right?
Yes.
So night is pretty soon. If you're sitting down in that metal outfit, waiting in line for a
Yeah.
concert, and there are like 4 other people, you might begin to wonder just how good the band is.
I don't know. They don't want to miss it.
Now, this is sad. This used to be a really good Chinese restaurant, family-style Chinese
Oh
restaurant.
yeah, I've been in there with Lenny and his family.
Yeah,
My
right,
buddy.
it was, old style.
But that's still 33.
Yeah. Could be, one
So-
half of the building's street's 33, and
And the other half is 17. Makes perfect sense. All right, let's go this way and we'll go into the park.
all right, enough of that.
We're just walking around New York revealing various
The oddities.
oddities,
But
yeah.
it's axiomatic in business. And we have a business where you have been to the restaurant, I've been to the restaurant, customers were in that restaurant. You used to walk by there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and there'd be people.
Full.
Yeah. So the food was pretty good if you like Chinese food.
It was not expensive. It was
Wasn't
a big
expensive.
family style thing.
And it was reliably decent. And they didn't rip you off, and they didn't overcharge on drinks and stuff like that, and now it's totally gone.
Well, I think the problem is they weren't selling weed and they weren't, selling stolen goods out on a blanket, or they'd still
Right.
be in business.
And here we have the Stand, which is not to be confused with the Strand.
Strand is still there, right?
Yeah, and then you have bicycle storage
In the parking lot.
in the parking lot.
This is probably for Zeckendorf Plaza, no?
Bicycle parking rates, 24
What? They
hours,
charge you for
monthly $69. Why don't you just put it in your apartment?
Sometimes that's difficult, like
If your apartment's like 10
pretty
square feet.
small. But then you might not be so into spending $69 a month to. That's crazy. How much does the bicycle cost? And you're going to charge $69 to
Just
park
put
it?
it right here. The office chairs.
Here's weed on the street.
Yahimi. This is depressing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Charles. It's just
Like, let's do an experiment. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the least qualified people
put them in charge.
and put them in charge of everything, and teaching.
See what happens.
And see what happens.
What
yeah.
could go wrong?
Put the people who know what they're doing, put them in jail, take their shit. I know what we can do. We walk by Barnes and Noble there.
Sure. I saw a bit of commentary from that Ukrainian protest yesterday where one of the New York street YouTubers was
Right.
asking the guy about Nazis. And this guy, he's got a good degree of boldness, but he seems to be not that well informed, even though his thing is called like not well informed or something. Point is, he was asking about the Nazis, and the people were just like, no, there's no Nazis.
And then they started screaming
Well,
for
but
Bandera and
yes, but they're saying no, he's a nationalist and this and that. The thing that you need to do is you need to be going to the CIA archives, CIA.gov, and looking up their files on Stefan Bandera and Nicole Lebed. Certainly the CIA thought they were Nazis after World War II,
Right.
and so everybody who is worshiping them in Ukraine might be misguided as to what those guys and their movements stand for.
might.
And very frequently, it seems to me that what they like to do, here's another Australian sheepdog, and a little cute white dog there. I don't understand people who leave these dogs tied up, somebody will come
Next to
take
the
it.
bathroom.
I understand, but I see it everywhere. Anyway, the CIA, Charles, definitely thought these guys were Nazis.
Again, I'm a very simple guidelines for living my own life.
No Nazis.
No Nazis is high on the list, but if I decide I'm going to do something with somebody,
They're a little close to people walking.
if I'm going to do stuff with somebody and they have a complementary talent, it has to be a talent, not an affliction.
What do you mean?
In other words, there have to be you're contributing. You know what you're doing. It's not like I'm going to hook up and do a joint venture with somebody or a project with somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. That's the kind of stuff that B-Rock does.
But look at this. This whole street is now under construction and closed.
Yeah. It was so transparently stupid when Hillary, everything she does is absurd, but when she came for her book, Hard Choices.
No, that was what happened.
No, that's when you and I did it, but in 14 or 13.
Oh, before that.
She did a book, I think, in 14, and she had this big bus out here that said "Ready for Hillary," and we were
Ukrainian buckets.
we were out here at the front of the line. We got here early, and Jesse Waters was here.
Oh,
so we were
right.
talking to him, talking to people on the line, and I endeared myself to perfect strangers by saying, "What kind?" Just wait a second. What kind of an idiot would stand in line? And the line went all the way around the block. I mean, it went quite a distance around the block. What kind of an idiot would stand in line to go and get a book signed by Hillary Clinton that obviously she didn't write, and it'll have nothing very interesting in it? And immediately, this girl says, "Well, I'd stand in line. My brother is her editor."
Oh,
Like,
that kind of idiot.
oh yeah, so you're gonna confirm to me that you're an idiot.
That's
but-
one of those people who had to open her mouth and dispel all doubt.
Right. And so the bus was there ready for Hillary. She didn't have a campaign, she hadn't announced yet, but she'd obviously put the team together. They were working out of the Clinton Foundation. They were sponging off the Clinton Foundation, collecting salaries from the Clinton Foundation while also helping Hillary on her campaign, using the contacts that Dennis Cheng had gotten. You want to go that way? Or?
From the
From-
London School of Economics.
Well, and from the Clinton from raising money for her Senate campaign, raising money. What do you want to
that
do?
doesn't seem to quite have it together, does he?
He's got it more together than Joe Biden.
It's true.
But we can give him some distance.
A lot of Japanese companies make this kind of heavy construction.
Komatsu,
equipment.
well, and also Catco.
But does Komatsu own that? No.
Komatsu is a
Caterpillar
separate
Tractor
company.
is
So it's a separate company. So, but just if I can make the connection here, we talked about Ratcliffe saying a lot of stuff's going to blow people's mind. And in the Durham filings, they're referring increasingly to the efforts to sell the hoax material to the media, to the government as
They're
a
still
joint
selling it.
as a joint venture between the Clinton campaign and various and sundry people in the media, in these firms, at the law firms, etc. I.e., it's a conspiracy. It's an ongoing conspiracy. What they haven't yet named, and I hope they will do, is the Clinton Foundation. I mean, that stands at the core. That's the most obvious way to launder money. It's far better than having a political campaign, because in a political campaign there are limits to how much money individuals can give a candidate, and corporations have a hard time giving oodles of money. Whereas if you give it to a foundation and you have the foundation pay for the salaries, wages, benefits, and obscene out-of-pocket travel costs and consultants and things like that, you send those bills to the foundation, and the individuals who write the checks to the foundation, there's no limit on how much money you can give, as much as you want to the foundation.
It's less oversight than election stuff, too.
I think we've established there's absolutely no oversight. It's like,
Right.
these laws over here, we hired a team, we're going to have them write federal laws, foreign laws, state laws, local laws. We want the laws to be really long, the regulations even longer, and then the people who are going to enforce these laws are not good. They'll be available to show up for work in 25,000 AD. So until then,
Yeah.
and here we
Keep
have
paying.
quite a group here.
Oh, what are they doing?
I don't know.
Probably somebody had an open beer, so we need 17 police. What are they doing here?
Let's not get too close.
It's giant texting party.
These are guys, are they?
1, 2, 3, 4. Now, but wait, this is interesting, because this is the second time I've seen police
Right.
arresting these guys for having beers, and it looks like maybe even the same officers. Yeah, it is the same guy. All they do is arrest people with beer. So there's people getting assaulted all over the place, and this lazy, irresponsible
Jason, let's go.
jackass
Let's go.
is just giving tickets to these guys. You are a disgrace to the NYPD, you laughing fatso.
What happened?
Nothing happened, but these cops need to bust these guys' balls because they're all cowards. They should be fired. Why? Because you're an offensive loser and you're ineffective as a cop. You're doing nothing is what you're doing. Laugh, keep laughing, Sarge. This city is deteriorating on your watch. Every one of you officers should be fired. Your mother should be ashamed of you. Bye! Losers. Yeah, because all you do is give these guys who are delivering food tickets for having beers. Why don't you guys go protect and serve? There's people riding motorcycles through Washington Square Park. Do what?
You got better things to do with yourself on a Sunday afternoon?
What the hell are you saying?
Exactly. That's my point.
That's your point. This is what I do on a Sunday afternoon. Do you have any kind of education? You're one of the stupidest people I've spoken to. It's a shame. It's a shame that you're a police officer.
Yeah.
What did these guys do that they're getting tickets? You're the same guy I saw last time. They're giving you guys a ticket last time.
Yes, all the time.
Why?
No way.
For drinking outside.
Is this as way? I know
Let's just go.
that.
It's the same guy.
All the time.
So for drinking outside, we got people selling weed.
Yeah, I
We
just don't
got
want to-
people
there's no-
doing heroin in the park.
But there's
and
no-
there's 5 cops there giving tickets for beers. I'm sorry, Charles.
I just
That's a
don't wanna get-
major problem. I didn't play the video the last time I saw those guys because I wasn't live. I was just walking down the street, and that fat asshole I was just talking to with the sergeant and 2 other cops were giving those same guys tickets.
Well, it is against the law to drink
It's also
beer.
against the law to sell weed in the park and drive motorcycles through there, but why are 4 tickets being given by the same officers? I bet they get a financial benefit when they give out tickets, and those guys are easy to hassle.
Could be. They're probably also not citizens.
If they're not citizens, then that's a different thing that needs to be addressed, and I'm not going to defend them for illegally being in the country.
This is always good.
But I'm just pointing out that that's the second time I've seen that asshole. I think his name is Corrado.
Certainly not correcto.
But we got a serious problem with the NYPD. There's serious crimes going on. There's murderers being let out, killing people the next day, and we have 4 assholes being paid probably at least $100,000 a year. Who knows what their pension is going to be? Who knows how much it costs to keep them out there with cars and vehicles and equipment?
Right.
And they're standing around giving tickets to guys drinking beers. Why is it illegal to drink outside? I thought they made it legal.
It is illegal.
Didn't Kathy Hochul make to-go drinks a new thing?
I don't know.
And every restaurant for COVID, they said you could deliver booze and drink booze in these outside tents. Maybe it is illegal, but it's a
But
strange
that
thing.
guy you were talking to looked drunk to the point of his face was red.
The cop?
No, I didn't see the cop, but the guy you had seen before.
The cop looked like his face was red too, and he's too fat to be a cop.
Yeah, but
That guy. Charles, we got serious problems in this city, and the police are part of it.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry to include you in that, but you know
No,
what?
I just didn't. Those kind of things can escalate very quickly and get us to a place I don't want to be in.
Well, if I get arrested, you can just go
Well, I
home.
wouldn't do that. But you know what I'm saying? If you
I
get
hear you, but I
somebody-
can't let that stand. The city is falling apart, and those guys who are empowered to stop crime are stealing the money by not doing the job. They
Right.
should all be fired.
Yeah.
They're causing the crime because all the people in the park. If we had 4 police officers with bulletproof vests going through that park, busting the chops of the people who are sitting there doing heroin that we saw, a line of them that are riding motorcycles through the place, endangering little kids and old ladies, selling weed.
Yeah.
Those cops are losers.
I'd say so.
Sorry to upset you.
You're not upsetting me. I was more concerned that they would decide that they had to make
Come
an
and arrest
example of
me.
you know, to defend their
Let
honor.
them try it because then I'll get them in court.
You know, but anyway.
Anyway, what were we talking about
I don't
before I
know.
went nuts on those cops?
I don't remember. Well, I think we were talking about Durham, and I think
Yes.
the issue is that
Radcliffe,
that
Durham.
various people, Margot Cleveland, whose work I respect, even Andy McCarthy at National Review and others, are combing through these filings, and they're coming out quite a lot of filings. Hillary had her team she's trying to get Trump's lawsuit against her dismissed on spurious grounds.
That's what they always do. Lawyers always do that.
Right, and that Hillary. Hillary has the pipe. I mean, she has the benefit of a lot of co-conspirators who have a lot of money and a lot to lose if she goes away. So she knows she's not paying for anything. And the mission, we have example after example in the many books I've now read about the Clintons going way back. We're talking hundreds of different books, one way or another, about the Clintons, or my books, I also mean academic things. Their approach is lawfare, is to say, let's hire, and Bennett, it's either Bob Bennett or Bill Bennett, I think, I forget which one. One of the Bennett brothers, who was at Skadden Arps, he writes a book in which he says his marching orders were to delay the lawsuit through the 1996 election. He brags about it. He writes a book, gets paid, and brags about it.
Yeah, lawyers think these scumbag tactics are, fair.
Right.
That's what they should do.
Of course, because it enriches lawyers.
Yes.
And so that's her mission, to have these people flying around. We know that dirtbag Mark Elias and dirtbag Eric Holder and dirtbag Barack Obama are all working together on this project to gerrymander, and that is to draw the voting districts in a way that they lock in Democrats in power, and anyone who opposes those plans, they file lawsuits against them and say that you're a racist and you're
yes,
and they're hand in step. Holder, Obama, and this dirtbag Elias, who very much was involved, working with Hillary, and I think with Jake Sullivan, and likely with the knowledge and connivance of Obama.
Oh, that's an awesome dog outfit. Connivance.
Of Obama and Biden. At least Biden would be present in meetings. Whether he understood what was going on is another question. And they all knew that Donald Trump couldn't win. Because if he did win and he were unrestrained, these people would have been in jail. So they had to do whatever they could do.
Stop his effectiveness while he was president.
And they were shocked. And the email traffic and the message traffic that we haven't seen yet is going to be hilarious. He won? He won this? You remember the scenes from 2016? I love that. I don't like to gloat. But too much. But
depends on the situation.
But I was in full gloat mode, watching the Rachel Mad Cow. Well, the polls are closed in New York, and it looks like a resounding victory for Hillary. But
did she say that?
Well, yeah, they measured the
Mad
drapes.
Cow said that?
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I don't know those exact words,
wow.
but they were early on. They thought they had it locked. They had California, they had New York, they had a whole bunch. There was a blue wall. All these states with more than enough electoral college votes to get her across the line. And they just were certain that their polling was wrong. There were polls saying, now wait a minute, this Trump guy seems to be more popular than we thought, and going that way. And there were some tells, which you're seeing elsewhere in more recent elections, is that, for example, in Pennsylvania, in portions of the state which should have been for Hillary, there were no Hillary signs. In the Village, in 16.
No Hillary signs, yeah.
And here's Falun Gong.
Oh, yeah. This is Falun Dafa.
It says Falun Gong as well. You could do the Falun Gong show.
You know what? I really like the Gong show.
I did too. Except when they're doing it 24/7 in the White House,
right?
Or that I should say they're doing it 3/4 of the time in the White House and 25% in Delaware. But anyway,
why is this park so much more civilized?
Well, I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it? Now, why aren't the cops giving these people a ticket? What's the difference?
I'm
telling you.
They may have a license.
But those guys got beer from some similar place. I'm pretty sure they allowed those delis to... Those cops are just busting their balls, and you're right, they're probably not legally in the country, so they don't want to...
Well, and one standard trick is, and I'm not saying those particular guys were doing it, is you have a cop come and say there's a problem and I could write this up. I really don't want to write it up, but maybe you have a suggestion as to why I shouldn't write it up, and a dirty cop will take a couple $100 and not write it up. Do that 5 times a day. All cash, you're pretty happy.
All those cops suck.
Yeah. Not,
It
I
was
mean,
like,
those
you,
particular did,
Blondie, you're gonna be
but I think there have to be some decent cops. One decent cop.
I haven't met him yet.
Yeah.
There's one that I've met who's a decent cop, but he's not able to do anything to help me.
Right. Well, I think the whole system is designed.
To not work.
Well, the fire department, public sector jobs are all designed to allow people at the top of that food chain to grift as much as possible, maneuver their friends into positions where in their final year of pretending to work, they get very high base salaries which are used to establish their pension.
And then they
And
just
they-
make money for the rest of their life doing nothing.
Well, yeah, and they go and work in a security firm and get another paycheck that way. But back though on Durham, I freely admit that there could come a moment where the people pulling bite me strings, that would be President Joe Biden, just say, whether it's to Merrick Garland or directly to Durham, that report that you're going to do, why don't you write it in Esperanto and put it on the Musk SpaceX
Yeah, because no one's
plane.
going to look at it or do anything about it.
Yeah, and we'll release that in 2100 AD. I mean, there's a chance that they could try that, but I think the natives are restless. The encouraging signs are that even the wokester dunces, the Utes, have departed Joe Biden. They're polling on youth voting. They've abandoned Joe Biden.
But that doesn't mean that they want conservative values or
No.
DeSantis or Trump. They want,
No, I know, but I'm just saying that it's not like you have victory after victory, that the very same people, you recall the day that Brett Baer on Fox and others called the election for the resident.
Professor Hulk.
Huh?
Brett Baer is Professor Hulk.
He is bulking up,
But he just looks exactly like,
does he?
yeah, except for green.
We did that walk around on a Saturday and saw the spontaneous
Right.
exaltations of joy
Right after the election.
right after it was called. And most of those people, I would submit, are certainly not going to vote for Joe Biden again. And the question is whether,
I don't know about that.
I don't think they will. So I think between now and then, the likelihood that we're going to have a prolonged, exacerbated financial crisis is extremely high. Between now,
All those
and-
food factories are burning down.
you got that. I mean, it's one thing to talk about the rich people are unhappy that their stock portfolios decline in value. It's another thing to have reports, more and more of them, that food riots. That's serious business. You can't not have food. England is apparently the biggest one chain is rationing cooking oil. Now, that's probably a major league problem in England because most of their crappy food is sloshed over in disgusting oil. But we're seeing clear signs that the pain and suffering that has already been inflicted on the economy is not going to be reversed anytime soon. They're not raising interest rates fast enough. Interest rates are still negative.
But Joe Biden also said this food shortage is going to be real, and he doesn't seem to know anything. So
I know.
whatever he says is very likely predetermined.
There, we need to bring B-Rock back. There you go, Joe. Hey, did you hear he said food shortages are going to go real? He also said he signed the infrastructure bill with his paw.
Yeah, well, maybe he had one of these fine constituents sign it
Joe,
with
you
a paw.
can't eat. I mean, the reason to remember that one of the dogs is biting everybody, maybe
What are his dogs?
Yeah, it's probably because my favorite meal is a hot dog. He was trying to cook and eat one of those dogs, and they started biting him. I mean,
Barack Obama mentioned hot dogs in his stupid
course.
cybersecurity speech.
right.
Weird thing to mention if you're Barack
Again,
Obama.
And he's very adept at reminding everybody that he's one of only 46 people have occupied the position of President of the United States. That's true. How many of them were abysmal at it?
Right.
You know,
He's at the top of that list. Well, Joe has got him beat.
Slow Joe, the man with no mojo. He definitely. I mean, he's
Top of the heap. He's stupid.
He's on rocket ship up.
That thing's got a Ukrainian flag.
Yeah, there must have been some demonstration around Well, it's also Orthodox Easter, so maybe they're,
That could be just it.
yeah. So, progress on the Durham front, I think.
I remain very concerned that he was hired by Barr. I feel like there's a surprise at the end of that tunnel, and we're not going to like it.
Well, we'll see. But we see the chorus of co-conspirators, W. Bush, Hillary Clinton. We haven't heard much from Bill and B-Rock now, all opening their pie holes, trying to be relevant. And the collection of losers in the gerontocracy that runs the Republican and the old person's group that runs the Republican and Democrat establishment is really scary. I mean, Nancy Pelosi
Yeah.
trying to pretend that the Capitol Police, issued a warning about a plane that was getting too close when in fact it were parachuters going to the Nationals.
Well, they had a permit to do that.
I
And
know.
once again, the U.S. Capitol Police show that they are unprepared, incompetent, and should be disbanded. But you've reminded me of an important thing I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
There was a big deal being made on Drudge Report and a couple of stupid outlets about these tapes, that the swamp is going crazy over the tapes, that they have a
McCarthy,
recording
yeah.
of McCarthy saying that Trump said that he has some responsibility, and they're acting like this is some Watergate moment. But has Trump agreed that he said that? And even if he did, I don't think he did. It's McCarthy claiming that Trump said something.
I mean, McCarthy has no credibility. McCarthy and Paul Ryan, for that matter, most of the rhinos have taken a decent hand that Trump had and destroyed it. And these are references from a New York Times reporting team's book that's apparently, I guess, making the rounds in pre-publication or whatever. There's also a reference that McConnell, was grateful that the Democrats were impeaching Trump, will let them do the dirty work and teach that son of a bitch a lesson. I mean, Mitch McConnell, I'm sorry, I don't care at all about the Senate rules. I just don't care about them.
But don't they need to abide
I don't
by
care.
them?
I don't care. Because you have a chance to rewrite them. At each Senate session. So,
Really? I didn't know that.
yeah, and so to say that you're an expert on a bunch of rules that
gonna
you could
last
have
for 2
changed,
years.
that impeded the ability of Donald Trump and the MAGA people to get what they were trying to get done for the benefit of this country. I mean, who seriously today believes that stopping the border wall and stopping the Keystone
anything.
Pipeline are helping low and middle class Hispanics, blacks, and white people survive in the high inflation environment we're currently in, where their young sons and daughters and other genders are headed off to these looming wars, whether it's in Ukraine. They're not talking about Russia maybe is going to go into Poland.
Who said that? That's nonsense. As a retaliation for NATO stuff?
Right. I don't think this is nonsense.
Well, I mean, but whenever I read what Russia is going to do on CNN, I don't think they know what they're talking about.
I honestly think the way they're looking at it is Putin's 70, whatever he is.
Yeah.
How much more time he has on the planet. He is definitely going to be in the history books. Does he want to be a goat? Or does he want to be the person who reset the relationship of Russia with the rest of the world?
But some
for the
people
better?
think GOAT is the greatest of all time, so they might get confused when you say that. But the other thing is, there was speculation, I think we spoke about this, right? The GPS stuff?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's an interesting angle because, Putin is sitting there thinking, all right, the United States is being cute and coy, saying they're not in the war, but they're sending advanced drones and designing switchblade drones and training people, which Lloyd Austin, I mean, how are we not in the war? And he obviously recognizes that any kind of direct action in the United States would just provoke an all-out, mutually assured destruction nuclear war. So he wants to take some action that's going to be asymmetric in its effect, in that it doesn't cost Russia billions and billions of dollars to do, but results in billions and billions of dollars worth of damage and a major economic and strategic setback for the United States.
Right.
And Russia does have more advanced anti-satellite capabilities than the United States. John Mark Dugan in our last show suggested they would use that. And there was a report today that said that Russian airlines are being warned that they're going to have to deal with a world without GPS.
Right.
And although I would hate it if it happens, it does seem like a strategically logical move for Putin, because it would do those things. It would screw up the United States,
Right.
might not provoke a direct nuclear response.
Absolutely, and I think we're also seeing, I don't know what's going on in France. Before we went on air, the suggestion
right,
was
Le Pen.
that Macron was going to win. The exit polls are saying that. Who knows? I think Le Pen is like Trump. That in a poll, people are not likely to say, "Oh yeah, I'm for Le Pen."
It says Macron 58.8, Le Pen 41.2.
Is that actual or is that?
Le blowout, Le landslide,
Oh,
Le
okay.
Pen defiant, French presidential finale developing.
All right. Well, still, that's a pretty high percentage to get.
There's a furniture sale here, Charles.
Sign me up.
Wow.
Does the garbage come with it?
I don't know, you get a stool sample with it.
No, that's not. That's already somebody's stuff.
Oh, don't
Okay,
worry, we're
don't
not
worry.
vying for it.
That's already somebody's
There's
stuff.
a lot of demand for that
I'm sure
furniture.
well, what do I pair with a Hunter Biden painting? I've got to get, one of those black and white. And there's a nice pile. That's an epic pile.
Boy, that's just
That's a PhD of garbage, piled high and deep.
wow. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Here's another one. Oh, I
This
thought
is your favorite place.
No, it's a woman with a baby. I thought it was another one of these portable massage stations. Always take your baby to the bar. That's the smartest.
Baby's got back.
This
Except
place
in
is
Hunter's-
usually busy.
In Hunter's cases, baby's got crack.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did we cover everything today,
Well,
Charles?
we've got, I think Durham presses on. Biden is clueless. Harris, with we didn't really talk about the Spaceballs thing, but Harris's comments were insulting. It's like the Vice President of the United States pitches her remarks at goo goo gaga level,
Right, always.
and then expects you to clap her on the back and say, "Wow, you are so smart."
This is another one of these grocery
DoorDash.
stores that can only deliver. This is groceries, but only delivery, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's happening all over the place,
And,
Charles.
and texting.
Well, but he's not a cop. He can text.
Well, it's I'm working, but I'm going to text.
Well, he could be getting some delivery information. I don't know what the hell he's doing. I don't care. He's not here to protect and serve. He's delivering somebody's food.
Or so are the cops. They're not here either. What's this place?
Empty.
It's another
Bicycle wheels.
Dutch X. Yeah, it's obvious that that's a step up. The technology is really, taking our young people and giving them a chance to display the tools and the skills that they've refined in the institutes of higher learning, where the administrators and teachers are dramatically overpaid to do sweet fuck all.
No, they're there to teach your 6-year-old about transgenderism.
5-year-old.
It's amazing that people
we
oppose
go.
that. And also, good to see that Disney is getting hammered. I'm going to go upstairs. I forgot to do this last night. I'm going to cancel my Disney Plus
a
on
good
account of
thing to
they
do.
suck.
Are you going to fill out the survey?
What survey? I get it with Verizon for like $8.
Nice.
So I'll get rid of it
Good.
and
See?
save $8.
You can turn around and buy some more Tesla stock.
Yeah, for $8.
Garbage. $8. You buy a slice.
well,
they
I
divide.
have been getting advertisements about that, slices of stocks, but in New York it's pizza by the slice.
Yeah.
And on Crowdsource the Truth, I know it's difficult for everybody to allocate money to these streaming services, but now you can cancel Netflix, you can cancel Disney Plus, and you can become a sponsor on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. I hope where you're living is better than New York City. Not difficult.